and welcome to a new ship tour in cooperation with ReiseJung. We're taking a look at the river cruise ship River Sapphire, and as always we are starting with a few general facts. The ship was built in 2006 as Avalon Tapestry, was later on also called Vienna 1 and Travel Marvel Sapphire and WT Sapphire, Vernator Sapphire, and is now the River Sapphire. The ship is 135 meters long, 11.4 meters wide, has 4 passenger decks and can take up to 164 passengers on board, with a crew size of 40 crew members. She is constructed as a so-called TwinCruiser. That means that the engine part and the hotel part are separate from each other and can be compared to a pusher-barge combination. Therefore you have much less noises in the cabins, less vibrations, and it actually worked, as I had my cabin right at the end of the ship and still it was much calmer than on other cruise ships. She was built at the Neptunwerft shipyard in Germany, and we are starting our ship tour on the lowest deck. There are just a handful of areas on the lowest deck. Just in the middle of the ship there are 7 cabins and the gym, which we can see here. The gym is rather small, but it comes with a toilet and a shower with a bit of sport equipment and also some weights, and it was nicely equipped with towels and disinfectant. Here we can see the pictures. You can also see the portholes. Also the cabins here on this deck have portholes instead of the typical windows you have on other cruise ships. Otherwise there are only crew areas here on this deck. In the front we have the kitchen, in the rear part we have the crew cabins. So that's why we can now already head up to the next deck, the middle deck, and we are coming up in the middle of the cabin hallway. So it might be a bit difficult to find those cabins and the gym. You have to go to the staircase in the middle of the ship and then down. Well, we are heading up now, and as you can see in a second, on the left side and on the right side we have cabins. All cabins here on the middle deck have a size of 14 square meters and they come with a French balcony. There are only cabins in the rear part, so we are now heading to the front and we're coming to the reception area and the atrium. You can already see the beautiful design of the ship. Of course, it's not the newest design anymore because the ship is almost 20 years old. But in my opinion it is a very nice and beautiful design. Here we have a seating corner, the reception, and we also have a small library. Before heading down in the restaurant we can take a look at the pictures of the atrium area. We have the big staircase in the middle. Here we can see the reception and the small seating corner and the small onboard shop where you can buy some souvenirs and some jewelry. You can see the reception again. And there is also a coffee corner where you can get coffee 24/7 in a self-service, of course free of charge. You can see it on the left and here we can see it on the right side. And now we're heading into the restaurant. It's a beautiful and spacious restaurant with a lot of space in between the tables. We have big panoramic windows. Unfortunately, the ship's crew lowered the curtains, but behind the grey curtains you would usually have big panoramic windows with a nice view. As you can see, there's a lot of space, and also the chairs are much more comfortable than you'd think. It is a little bit grey in my opinion, but still it is a nice and beautiful restaurant, and I really love the big windows. Especially I love that there are windows in the front where you can overlook the ship's bow. That's quite unique. You may have already seen in the beginning that the ship has a quite low bow, and that means that you have those small windows here in the restaurant. There's also a big buffet for lunch and breakfast. Here we can see it right next to the entrance, close to the kitchen. And that's it for the restaurant. We're now heading back into the atrium area, and we've already seen all public areas on the middle deck of the River Sapphire. And that means that we can now head up to the upper deck. So we're now heading up the stairs. There's no elevator on board. And here we're now heading into the heart of the ship, which of course is the panoramic lounge. The lounge has just received brand new furniture. As you can see, it looks nice and modern, much better than before. Before it felt a little bit like a conference center, but now it looks very nice and comfortable and inviting. Here we can see the bar, and we have some nice chairs with a view right to the river with a table in front of it. It's very nice also for working. We have this big sofa here in the middle and very comfortable chairs around it. So you can see those chairs, especially the blue ones, are very, very comfortable. And now we're coming to my highlight of the ship, and that's this big panoramic windows in the front. There's no terrace in front. Of course, a terrace can be nice with good weather, but it also means that it's obstructing the view from the inside of the lounge. And in my opinion, this is one of the ships with the best view of the river you can have, because the lounge is higher than the bow. You have big panoramic windows, so it's ideal to enjoy the landscape from the lounge. Especially if you're sailing during a colder time of the year, this is the perfect ship because you can see everything from the lounge. The lounge is a little bit small, so if the ship is fully occupied with 164 passengers, it might be a little bit tight and cramped, so that's why we also decided to only sail with maximum of 150 guests on board, and so it felt very spacious. We had a lot of space, but that is a known problem with this series of ships. But we solved this problem by selling a lot of single cabins for a very good price, which is good for solo travelers, and it also made sure that the lounge is not too crowded when all passengers are there at the same time, so it worked out very well. We're now leaving the lounge again, and we're heading further up to the rear part of the ship. Heading up those stairs here, and here we have the upper part of the atrium with the cruise manager's office. Here on the left side we have a small library with games as well. Here on the left side now we have the cruise manager's office, and here we can see some pictures of the atrium area, which also comes with a glass roof, so there's a lot of light. So in my opinion it is very nice. In general, I really like this ship. I really like the design of the ship, even though it's not the most modern design anymore. It still looks very beautiful in my opinion, and it feels like a very high quality ship. It was built by a shipyard in Rostock in Germany that is focused on ocean ships, and it feels like an ocean ship compared to the ships, for example, built in Eastern Europe. Everything felt a bit more valuable. There was less noises, there was less vibrations, which is not only coming from the construction of the ship, but also from the materials that they used. Here we can see also a feature that's quite nice. We have a second entrance. It's not for passengers, but it's for the crew. It means that the crew can load the ship, whilst the passengers can still use the main entrance and are not even seeing that the crew is loading the ship, because from there they can go directly to the crew areas. And in the meantime we headed up to the sun deck. The rear part of the sun deck is not used, but there's enough space in the front. The rear part is not used because the wheelhouse is located aft of the ship, which is quite uncommon. Well, it's uncommon for river cruise ships. If you take a look at freight ships, they all have the wheelhouse in the back, because it's a bit easier to steer the ship, as you can see what's happening in front of you. But it also means that the wheelhouse has to go a little bit higher to not obstruct the view of the captain, and therefore also the rear part is not used for the passengers. The front part is quite typical. We have different kind of furniture, we have a bit of shadow, and what I really like about the ship is the front. If you take a look at the outline of the ship, you can see those tilted glass windows, and it continues up to the sun deck. So also here we have those tilted glass windows, and if you are lucky to get one of those nice chairs in front of it, you have a wind-proofed seat with a perfect and amazing view. So in general, I'd say this is a very beautiful cruise ship. I really loved staying on this ship for 1 week, as we were sailing with ReiseJung on the River Sapphire on the Danube for 1 week. And in the next videos I will show you a bit more about the ship, the cruise, and of course I will also show you my cabin. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Here you can see when the next video will be uploaded and the name of the song. As always, I'd like to say thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link, and I hope to see you in my next video then.